We're back.
Oh, have we started?
We're back.
Sorry,
We are
everybody.
back
A little
after.
whinge.
Well, it's been a month, but it doesn't feel like it's been a month because the last post that we put out is still going
It's
now.
still active, isn't
Still active. So we've done, thousands and thousands of views, hundreds and hundreds of comments.
Thousands of comments.
Thousands of comments. Still
What is
getting
it, Steve?
in touch
Is it this? Is it me face?
Yeah, it's got to be. People just attracted to you, mate. But a lot has happened actually since then.
A lot has happened, everybody. And if Steve doesn't clip the beginning of this whinge fest that I just started, then you'd have heard me go, Jesus Christ! So much has gone on, and it's getting depressing, right? When I look back and I go, I've got loads to talk about, and you sit there and you think, oh, do you know what? I mean, I think this is a problem with people in this country at the moment, right? Is that we're whinging about loads of stuff because there's no good news.
No.
There's no kind of like, whoopee-doo. The weather is gorgeous, and we're going, it's fucking too hot.
Yeah. Everyone's just so downtrodden about everything.
It is. It's like, so yeah, a lot has gone on. And so I've spent the last 6 weeks or so in Spain doing pretty much nothing, right? It's more rest and recuperation over there because, I'm on this kind of resort, and when I bought it, I mean, there's literally nothing to do there. It's like a golf course. It's 25 minutes away from the sea, right? So you've got to drive to get to the sea. But honestly, it's a different way of life. It's so much, right? So I take one of my cars down there and I leave it there. So I drove a car down, and it's a lovely drive, right? Anyway, I noticed there was something kind of a bit dodgy with the car. It wasn't sort of going above 3,000 revs, but anyway, it still got to speed, right? So you just stick onto cruise control and away you go. And driving on Spanish roads is a piece of cake, right? Love it, because the Spanish, bless them, are type. They won't go on any of the peacas, the toll roads. So you just go, it's a 9-hour drive from one place down to the other, and you just do it in one go. Yeah. But I gave the car to the little guy. He's called Ronnie, who's a Spanish guy who looks after my car out there. And I said to him, Ronnie, it's doing this, that using Google Translate, right? Because they don't speak English, right? It's like an old farm village, and so he goes, don't you worry about it. So I gave it to him on the Monday. Right now, this is the Spanish way of life. I gave him the car on the Monday, and I said, I've got people coming at the weekend, right? So I really could do with having it back as soon as possible. Yeah, bring it in on the Monday. So I bring it on the Monday, and he has it all week. And I says, Ronnie, I need it back. Right, I'm picking Rob up on Sunday. He starts working on the Saturday, and goes, yeah, you need this, but it's Saturday, so I can't get it. I said, well, I need it. Right, I'll put it back on. He says, you'll be able to use it, but you need to bring it back to me, when you can. So anyway, I used it for a week, right, and then when Rob went back, and I picked Chris's sister up, I gave it to him again. Says, right, Ronnie, have you got the bits? Yeah, I got the bits. Right, there you go. That was on the other Monday, and I was like, when do I get it back? Yeah, chased him every day. I said, Ronnie, so he's now got it till Friday. So he's now had it 10 days. And he's like, yeah, it'll be done about lunchtime. This is on the Thursday. I went, right, I'll be there at 2. No, I don't work that quick. So what lunchtime are you talking about? Well, not this lunchtime today. It's like lunchtime of one day. Yeah. And so he had it 9 days, 10 days to do this fix at the cost of $900. But that's what they do. And then the funny thing is, certainly where we are, the Spanish, they're not like you and I. Whereas if you got, let's say you charge, I know, £1,000 a podcast, right? And you need to clear £5,000 a month, right? If you got the first 5 days of the month and you did 5 podcasts, if you were Spanish, they go, right, done. I'm shutting the shop because I've hit my number, and I'll come back at the 1st of August. Yeah. That's what they do. Yeah. They literally, they don't sit there and go, I'll maximise this month and get the best month ever. Yeah. They go, oh no, I've got my number now. Yeah. I'm taking the rest of the time off. So
frustrating for the consumer.
Well, it is. And so you sit there, you think, well, who's got it wrong?
Yeah.
Right? And like I say, not like if you come to a garage here and you drop your car off at Mercedes.
That's a good question. Who has got it wrong?
Well, I mean, when I'm out there, I do nothing, right? Because A, it's too hot to do anything. But the way of life is just perfect because you don't rush around. Everything's manana. It's like, do you know what? Just chill, right? And so my heart rate and everything else is like just comes right down, and it's lovely from that perspective.
Does make you wonder as well how this country's got itself into the place it has, where everyone does seem so stressed and downtrodden. And
well, yeah, I don't know what we're chasing, right? But
for what end?
Yeah. You look at people and they're too busy. No, I can't come and do that. I'm too busy. Too busy to do what?
We talked before the podcast about like the corporate world and climbing the corporate ladder. Where does that ladder lead? Where does it actually go?
Well, I've got a friend who's.
Is it a status thing, or is it a money thing, or is it?
Well, I think it's a bit of both because so my friend he used to work for a very large car manufacturer. They've laid him off last week, right, as a contractor. He was running some projects. I won't go into the detail, but it's like climbing that corporate ladder, thinking, and they'll just drop you like that.
Someone just comes
And so you sit there and you think, what am I doing it for? Like you say, is it money? Well, we've got to have money to survive because everything is so expensive.
I battle with that, to be honest with you. I do battle with it in the sense of like what's the point where enough is enough? I've got big ambitions. I'm still young and I can still go and achieve some big stuff.
It's
but
debatable. But still young.
But call it middle age. What is the point where I get to where contentment is paramount?
And there's lots of people out there who will tell you, success is freedom, and freedom is, not having to work.
I've got a financial number in my head of like what I would like to achieve in my head, and I've got like a plan to maybe get there. I think I can do that.
Do you know what my number was? $5 million.
Same here. That's the exact number I'm thinking.
5 million when I was 32, right? And I sat there.
I'm 39 now, and
when I got to 32, and I worked for this big American company, I was like, do you know what? 5 million. When I get to 5 million, I'm giving up. I'm nowhere near 5 million, but I still gave up, right? Because you know what? You don't actually need that much money.
No.
We fall into that trap, don't we? Where society, the Donald Trumps of this world, will sit there and say, Steve, you know that car you've got, you need a better car. You know the house you've got, you need to get a better house. And so you're on that treadmill.
Nothing's ever good enough.
Yeah, you're on that treadmill, and it's your peers around you, and they're all going, oh, Steve's doing well because we perceive people have a nice car or a nice house. You must be successful, right? I mean, half the people who've got that are unhappy because they've got debt up to their ears, right? And so from the outside, people go, oh my God, he must be doing really well.
Rory Sutherland talks about that as well. It's like you get to 70 years old, got a huge house, 12 bedrooms, but you can't afford to fucking pay you're scrimping in Asda.
Yeah.
On a food shop.
Yeah. So I don't know, Steve. You when you hit 40, 42 is the number when you get to, because at 42. Hopefully by then you'll be happy with yourself, right? And you'll be confident enough to be able to say, this is what I'm doing. Now, the difference for you is you've got two young boys, right? Yeah. And so you can't just sit there and go,
I can't rest on my laurels at the moment.
So you've got to keep that going for those two lads, right? So there's a little bit of pressure for you. Yeah. But once hopefully they sort of fly the roost, which will be when you're about 90, because they won't be able to afford to do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, Steve. I don't know what we do it for, but that brings me on to this one of the questions I want to talk about today.
Here we go.
So when I was over in Spain, I was listening to the radio, and they were talking about a report in Spain, and I'm going to ask you about this because you're close to this. And they said that the average wedding in Spain is 25 to 30,000 euros, and they were saying that couples are still spending 25 to 30,000, but they're just inviting less people, right? Which got me thinking, right? A couple of things. First off, why is it so expensive, right? And I think people get ripped off because I think hotels and everyone else just sitting there and go, oh, it's a wedding, right? Times 10, right? But secondly, I thought was interesting was how they said, excuse me, with the budget, we're going to keep the same. We're just going to invite less people, right? Because if it's, let's say it costs $100 per person, right? They're going, well, we're just not going to have as many people, right? And so that got me thinking, how do you cross off people? And so I want to put this out there to people, right, who are thinking of getting married. First question is, would you invite, if you've got, say I'm getting married, Steve, and I invite you, but I don't know your other half, never met her. So do I spend £100 inviting her? Or do I say, no one comes who we've not met, right? Because how many people must take their +1 and they don't even know they don't even know the couple, right?
Yeah.
So they were saying that's one way that they're saving money, is they're not inviting people they don't know.
Yeah.
Even if they're a +1.
Which is a viable argument.
But that also makes it awkward for the person who is invited to say, I'm going to a wedding, but not you.
Yeah.
So how do you do that one? And secondly,
well, how do you square the circle as well of a wedding is a place of love and coming together, and you're kind of like separating them.
Well, but also, and again, I'm sure, right? Don't shoot me down, listeners, viewers, whatever. But come on, €30,000 for one day. Now, I don't know whether that included the honeymoon. Now, why is it that people want to spend 30,000 on one day when they're out of divorces and everything else? I'm Mr. Anti-Love at the moment. Don't shoot me down. But are there some bridezillas out there, right, who literally are going, it's my day, I want a special day, and therefore I want to spend €30,000 just so that I can feel special. And then, like, within a few years, you're fighting with each other and get divorced and everything else, and you kind of sit there and think, "Oh, what could we have done with that 30,000?"
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm being a bit. I don't know. Am I being unromantic when I go? I would rather, and I'm speaking as a divorcee now, and I spent, our wedding cost about 20 grand, right? 30 years ago, 25 years ago, and you sit there and you think, why don't you just have a very simple wedding and save the money? Right, but apparently we've grown up with women especially going, it's my special day, it's all about me. And the other thing, sorry, I'm on a rant now. The one thing that winds me up on weddings are these effing arranged dances. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your bride, and they come on and do that kind of vibe. What? No, shut up. It's like, I've got to show off. I've got to get this for my social media clip. I'm coming in, and they've got the dads trying to dance, and he's got no freaking idea about dancing. Or they come in, and they're all doing that kind of like, no, everybody, no. Why? Why do they do it? Honestly, and and it's all for the social media, isn't it? And you sit there thinking, it's all about me. Oh dear, Yeah. But hey, each to their own, I guess.
It's a funny one, isn't it?
So if you do that, Steve, if ever you invite me to your wedding, right, and you're sitting there, and I'm sitting down there with Chris, we're going, oh, where is he? Next minute, I hear some flipping Dr. Dre coming on. I'm thinking, oh, here we go.
Dr. Dre.
And Snoop Dogg.
I love a bit of Snoop. By the way, I do love a bit of Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, to be fair.
So don't ruin it by coming on and doing some kind of like rap dance. You and the missus and the two little boys. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I would just be like, in fact, funny. I will get up and walk out.
Okay,
I'll do a walkout protest.
Yeah.
Stick that on your social media.
Yeah. What would be like a proper wedding song to you, mate?
A proper wedding song?
Yeah.
What, that you don't dance to, like, as in a staged one?
Yeah. I've been going back lately. I've been listening to a bit of like Annie Lennox and.
Shall I give you a confession? Right, I hope she's not listening, and that is my ex-wife, because I didn't want to get married, right? I turned her down 3 times, and I didn't want it videoed and everything else. And I was just like, oh, if I have to, we'll get married. I was like, I think I was 30, and so my way of getting a bit of a, I let her have her way, right, with everything else, and she wanted this, she wanted that. But I said, I'm going to choose the wedding song. And I thought, how can I do this and have my own kind of special meaning without really telling her what I really mean? So I chose, it's a Lou Reed song, Perfect Day, but it was the one sung by lots of, it was like a charity song in the late 90s. And of course, such a perfect day, I'm glad I spent it with you, right? And so they go, oh yeah, that's lovely, thinking that was the meaning of the song. When, I don't know if you know what the meaning of the song is, it's all about drugs. So Lou Reed wrote this song about his relationship with drugs. So I'm kind of like going, yeah, let's do that. And everyone's going, but this is lovely. Oh, yeah. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm going, yeah, it's me because I fucking drugs because I'm taking fucking out. Anyway, so that was my dance, first dance song, you see.
Well, for context, I'm not married, but I have been to a wedding in Marbella which cost 40,000, which was like in this gorgeous villa complex. They had 50 guests, all staying in this villa complex. Unbelievable weekend. Absolutely fantastic. Still married to this day. Nothing's gone wrong. And I've been to other weddings which cost 4,000 up at Craxton Wood, and do a pretty. But the 4,000 ones, I've got to say, are dead.
How do you mean?
You're paying 4,000. You're getting your dinner.
Oh right, I thought we said death. They're dead.
But they're dead, like as in like you're not having many people there for that.
No. Well, and look, don't get me wrong.
I mean, but it looks empty. So my argument to that would be, if you're going to have something that's that small, and it looks scarce and it looks sparse in terms of guests and stuff, you might as well just get everyone together for a big meal
Down the pub.
Yeah.
Look,
Go
Steve,
to a nice bougie restaurant.
yeah,
Even.
Steve and listeners, don't get me wrong, right? If it's your cup of tea, that's fine. It's just, as you get older, like me, you get a bit more cynical, right? And you think, do you know what, there are better things to spend money on that gives me happiness than a wedding. But don't get me wrong, but the other thing about that, when you go to a beautiful wedding in Marbella or wherever it was, is how much does that cost you?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. When these people go, oh, come to my wedding, it's in Barbados. What? Yeah, come on down.
Yeah. I've got 2 kids I've got to pay for it as well to come.
Yeah,
bring the kids.
2 kids, and your outfits and everything else, and you're like, that's going to cost me the good part of $6,000, right, to come to your wedding. Yeah. Thanks. You know what? Thanks very much. I mean, it's bad enough in this country. Yeah, you're probably outlaying what is it for 300-400 quid if you include the overnight stay.
Yeah, easily.
So it's not cheap being invited to a wedding.
No, easily.
It's a commitment.
Plus the general price of beer at a wedding is like expensive. Saying that, they go to a wedding in Delamere Manor, which was Gary Barlow's old house. Believe it or not.
Oh,
very, very lovely.
Yeah,
very nice. Ali and Mike, lovely people, very wealthy people, live up in Heswell. Yeah, moved out to Cyprus now. They put a £10,000 beer tab behind the bar, so they done it in a way which didn't cost anyone. They put buses to and from Delamere Manor and all that. So if you've got the money, you can do it. But I mean that one was pretty outstanding, to be fair.
So, like I say,
and in my time, I have been partial to going to a wedding.
Don't judge me, but I would love to hear from people. This is not a jangly watch thing where I want you all to tell me how much you spent on your wedding, but I just want to know why, right? Yeah. And please, right? I know I had a dig at you, but anybody that's been to a wedding where they did the organised dance, tell me about the cringe ones. I want to hear the stories.
It is interesting, like what justifies in someone's head £30,000 to £40,000 on a wedding. What justifies? Like I'm genuinely curious because I want to get married one day, but in a way that's going to build our life in a way rather than.
Well, so look, there is one that I want to find out from people, what they're doing, but I also I'm going to spend 5-10 minutes now on a political thing, right?
Okay.
We should have a political podcast version where Common Sense Fails, the political edition, because we're recording this a couple of days after in the UK, Keir Starmer has resigned, right? Now, I just want to put it out there that certainly in the UK, what is it that politicians do not get, right? Because Westminster is just a cesspit of self-indulgent. We don't listen to anyone else, right? It's all about us. We know best, and you little people outside there just do as we say. Because, did you listen to Starmer's resignation speech?
Yeah.
You know what? Unbelievable, right? Why is the guy resigning? Because when he said what he'd achieved, I'm like, that sounds amazing, right? He's grown the economy. He's grown employment. He's not taxed anybody. He's brought 500 kids out of whatever it is out of poverty and blah blah. And I'm thinking, if you're that freaking good, why are you resigning, right? Because he's gaslighting us. Starmer must have a little notepad that he writes down what he wants to do and thinks that's it.
Do you think that's like? They're so deluded that they actually think they're doing well.
And I'm sick and tired, right, of and they wonder why people have no confidence in politicians. So Andy Burnham won a vote, the by-election for Makerfield on Thursday. And by Friday, they're all saying to Starmer, "Oh, are you going to resign?" Because no, if there's a leadership election, I'm going to fight for it. I'm definitely fighting for it. You're not going to get rid of me. I'm fighting for it. Come Monday morning, he's going, I'm resigning.
Yeah.
And hang on for a second. There's no leader. And the other thing is, right? So again, you don't believe a word they say. He's saying one thing on the Friday. Come Monday, he's changed his mind. Like everything these politicians do. They say one thing and do completely the opposite. And then, but not just that, right? So then you've got Andy Burnham. Now, Andy Burnham, we've spoke about this, seems like a decent chap, right? He's more popular, but then again, anybody would be more popular than Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer's gone down as the worst prime minister in history.
Yep.
And
I would actually argue that he's not actually the worst. I would say Liz Truss was probably worse.
She wasn't in there long enough.
No.
Right?
But she did basically just crash the economy in 40 days.
So, but Starmer, honestly, when you think he came in, the problem with Starmer was he came in with, I'm going to change everything. We're going to be different. And from day one, it was, Ali, what's his name, buying him suits, glasses, going to Taylor Swift concerts, Angela Rayner, the corruption minister, all these ministers that were just doing backhanders, and people just went, oh, you know what, you're worse than the Tories. They didn't win that election, right? Everyone voted because they didn't want the Tories because the Tories were so bad, right? That's how Labour got in. Yeah. But anyway, so Starmer's all this.
People's like sort of mindset was it can't be worse.
Yeah,
but nothing could be worse.
It was worse. But then I put this to you. So Andy Burnham, I don't know him personally, but he seemed like a decent chap. But what everyone's now saying is, so he's now going to go in unchallenged to be the Prime Minister. So number one is there are 400 plus Labour MPs currently in the House of Commons. Not one of them thought they were good enough to take over from the Prime Minister. Not one. So what does that tell you? That they didn't even think that they were good enough, and they're in government currently to take over the PM. So what do? I'll tell you what, we'll go and get someone who's not been in politics for 15 years, right? We'll bring him in unchallenged. We don't even know what his policies are, right? And he's going to be our next Prime Minister. Now, some people have been saying, well, we can't have a Prime Minister that's got no plan and everything else. And then you go, hang on, 2 years ago, Starmer was elected and he had no plan, no idea. I said, so what's the difference going to be? And the other thing is, Burnham has already got a nickname of Andy Bunkman or whatever. And it's like, oh, Bungham. No, Andy Bungham. Because when he was mayor of Manchester, he signed off a £4.5 million EV charging deal to a company where his wife is the director. Fucking hell. Here we go again. It's like, do you know, they don't learn, do they? And someone said to me, the other day, they said, why don't you go? And I went, do you know what? I would never get into politics because I have too many skeletons. But I do think about, it's probably before your time, there was a film in the 80s with Richard Pryor called Brewster's Millions, right? And he basically, the crux of the story is he gets called in to this lawyer's firm and he watches this video and it's his great uncle or whatever, right? A white guy who goes, you didn't know about me, blah, blah, blah. I'm dead now. He says, but you get to inherit my fortune because you're the only surviving relative. He says, but there's a condition. You've got to spend £30 million or dollars in 30 days, but not accrue any asset, right? Only the shirt on your back. So you got to spend. He said, I'm going to make you. I'm going to make you want to hate spending money. He said, and if you do that successfully, you get the whole my whole estate worth 300 million, right? But if you've got like a penny left, you don't get any of that 300 million. So he's basically got to spend 30 million in 30 days and not tell anybody. He's not allowed to destroy items. You can't go out and buy a load of Picassos and then destroy them. So it's quite a good film, right? But what he does is he sets up a political party, right, Richard Pryor, and he calls it None of the Above, right? So when he goes on the ballot paper, he's at the bottom, and it's like, who are you going to vote for? None of the above. And you tick the box. And I just want to create a party called None of the Above. Because I don't know if you saw in the by-election, over here in the UK, we have all kinds of nutters. And there was Binface.
Count Binface.
Honestly, it looked like something out of Monty Python. Right? Yeah. And so I just sat there.
Did you see that Sky News reporter interviewing him?
So you know what? We want more Count Binface. Let's get those guys in because you know what? I'm sick and tired
He
of
actually got like 95 votes.
Yeah, I'm sick and tired of the political elite. So only over the last week, so we've got Andy Burnham doing that. You've got Keir Starmer doing what he's flipping doing. You've got Nigel Farage getting quizzed over his 5 million bung, what he's got. Basically, they're all
Donation.
at it. They're all at it, right? Yeah. And you sit there, and it's like we're sick and tired. And then you've got Starmer gaslighting us over his resignation, thinking that he's the world's greatest ever. You've got Donald Trump. You've got Donald Trump on Sunday announcing Keir Starmer's resigning.
Before he actually did.
I mean, Donald Trump's just got two fingers up to him. I can just imagine Starmer's rung him to go, oh, Donald, I'm going to be handing me resignation. And fucking Trump's probably gone, let's get it out on the Truth Social.
With Andy Burnham, I've sat near Andy Burnham at the match for many years.
Right.
He is a really good guy. He's a good man, actually. Like, there's just something about the political landscape that just... Like, you see it straight away. Like, straight away, you're seeing articles on social media. You're seeing the Telegraph posting stuff. And it's literally, like, outrageous stuff that's being levelled. Like, he's a fucking dickhead. He's this, he's that. And it's like you've never actually even given... You haven't even given him a shot.
No. And it, to me, we are living in TikTok politics.
So, if you were to put yourself... in Andy Burnham's shoes now, what would be your approach to this situation?
So Andy Burnham would get my vote if he did the following, right? If he stopped the borders, right, closed the borders down, if he exported all the illegal immigrants, right, if he cut the welfare bill, if he cut taxes on small businesses, I think, if he did, there's just four things off the top of my head. If he did those four things, right, then I think he would make the UK a happier place, right? And he'd have people on his side because he's more socialist than Starmer, right? And if he comes in and tries to run the country in a more socialist way, it isn't going to work. But I understand he's more left than Starmer, right? So I'm not expecting him to do all that from day one, but I think he needs to show some authority, he needs to kick his backbenchers around. He needs to get rid of Rachel from accounts. He needs to get rid of David Lammy. He needs to get rid of Ed Miliband. Oh, that's another thing. Cut net zero, right? Start drilling again in the North Sea, right? If he was to do those things, right, I think the country would get behind him, right? Because, when you look at the uselessness of people like Rachel Reeves, when you look at David Lammy, when you look at Ed Miliband, they're ruining the country.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, but, what have they actually done? I mean, David Lammy, a barrister. Gee, if David Lammy came and said, "I'm representing you in court," I'd be like, "Please don't, mate."
Yeah.
Because what was he, a barrister for 6 years or something?
Yeah.
And then he's now just done politics, and he's useless. He's absolutely. I'm sorry, come and sue me, but he is useless. The worst man out there, right? And Ed Miliband, the same, right?
Yeah.
He's used to stabbing his own brother.
He did stab his own brother in the back, and
it would have been great, by the way.
But what's he?
David Miliband would have been, I reckon,
a really good leader for the Labour Party.
A brilliant leader. But his wanky brother, excuse my French, wanky brother stabbed him in the back.
And why is he still lingering around after all these years?
So yeah, don't get me started on it. So I'm just sick and tired of, and you know what's going to happen?
Yeah, I don't understand why Miliband's still lingering around after all this time.
Well, yeah, I don't get it. But we'll wait and see.
If I was Andy Burnham now, I would be doing kind of what you said, really, organising who's going to be on the team. And I'd come up with a clear and concise plan. And as outstanding as this sounds, I'd make me mind up and fucking stick to it.
Yeah. Oh, God, please, Burnham. All we want is
even
someone...
if you disagree with politics, fucking stick to it. Have a backbone.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely
no more
right.
U-turns.
No, absolutely right. Because Keir Starmer was basically dead in the water from about 6 months in because people just...
14 U-turns. Oh, every policy... But pretty much every policy that people voted him in for, he U-turned on.
But how many people? I mean, so many of his front benchers had said to him, "Oh, it's time for you to go." Right now, not being funny, right? But if you worked for me and you came up to me and, "You know what, Chris? I think you're doing a shit job. Time for you to go." I'd have gone, "No, I tell you, he needs to go. Fucking you!" And I'd sling you, right? And I'd get someone else in. But no, he let his front benchers sit there and say, "I think you're doing a bad job and get out of here," right?
Yeah.
He was so weak. Ed Miliband, I want you to come off environment and do something else. And he went, "Not doing it."
Yep.
So what does Starmer do? Oh, okay then. Oh, what does that tell everybody? The guy he had no backbone. And I think he's anti-British, So, again, whilst I was away, the Henry Novak thing kicked off. Again, disgusting, right? That our police handcuffed a poor dying lad, right? And Starmer really doesn't do anything about it, right? How disgusting is that? And he makes out that there's no two-tier policing. Of course there fucking is. The police themselves came out and said that.
In the same week, there was a girl, I think, who got murdered by a boyfriend or something.
Right.
Didn't really get much press because all this Henry Novak stuff was going on. Got 31 years in prison for murdering his pregnant missus or something like that. Not a word was spoken because he's a white British man.
Yeah, and but the other thing is, so all the riots kicked off in Southampton, or the protests, or whatever it might be, and he comes out and goes, "Oh, far right people again. It's the far right people protesting, and they'll all be hit with a strong arm of the law." And two kids who got caught on camera throwing bricks at the police. Don't know what they did in terms of did they hit the police or they hit the vehicles, were found and sentenced within a week, right? For throwing a brick at the police, protesting. Now, we have video footage of two Pakistani Asian guys kicking shit out of 3 policemen, or policewoman as well, broke her nose, at Manchester Airport on CCTV. No doubt, you can't sit there and go, "Oh, is that mistaken identity?" No, it's plain as anyone can see. 2 years ago, right? And they got off. How is that not two-tier? A kid throws a brick and within a week He's caught, banged up, and this, that, and the other. Yeah, if you're a Pakistani Asian, you're on camera kicking shit out of police, and you get off after 2 years. No, it's
madness.
Wrong.
It's absolute madness.
And again, there's all that goes on. So this is something else.
These are quite, like, for Andy Burnham, if he messes this up, it's, you know, it's an open goal for him, this. Because he can just come in, make some clear and concise choices to sort this stuff out. And he'd win a lot of votes.
Oxford County Council, right? What the fuck are you doing, right? Excuse my French, but I'm so wound up about it. Going to court to ban showing the British flag and the St. George's flag because it upsets migrants. Well, if they're upset with our national flag, rock off. When I'm in Spain, I'm driving around Spain, there's the national flags all over the place. I don't sit there and go, oh, I'm getting upset because I'm in someone else's country and they're displaying their flag. No. So what's our own councils trying to ban? They can put the gay flag up. That's fine. Palestine flag, yeah, that's happy. But don't you dare put up the We're in the middle of the World Cup. Have you ever in a World Cup kind of walked around and gone, where is anyone supporting England?
No.
We used to have the little flags on the cars and everything else. Now, I just feel like it's been ripped out.
Yeah.
We daren't because we're classed as racist or far right. We're not. We're a little bit patriotic. So, no, Burnham, sort that out. Now, I was talking to a friend earlier today, and I said, you know what? I think the reason why these people go into politics, I'm being cynical again now, and go for the top job. Did you know that if you're Prime Minister, that for life after, you still get paid a Prime Minister's salary until you die?
Really?
Yep. So Liz Truss did 46 days, or was it, or something, 48 days? She's still being paid £160,000 every year with her office thing and everything else because she used to be a PM. Right? So I'm not surprised Burnham or Rayner want to go for it because it's like, I don't give a shit. Because if I'm in there 5 days, I'm guaranteed for the rest of my life a Prime Minister's salary.
Yeah. Who do you think he will bring in?
Do you know what? I kind of have... I don't want to see Rayner back because of what she did, but I think she will. I think she's going to bring him back because they're quite good buddies. Yeah. I think Wes Streeting will probably be my vote for Chancellor. Because he's really quite left. I think he needs a mix though. Yeah. Because if he just fills his
he
front bench,
he needs to pull the party a little bit more centre.
He does. He can't just go in with his left of left.
Yeah.
You know, he needs to, if he wants to get the country on his side, he needs to have, I think...
Politics is always one in the middle.
Yeah, of course.
All the noise, either side, all the shouting, all the da-da-da, but it's always one in the middle.
I think you're right. You know, we can't have the left kind of Green Party in because they're just too extreme. Oh, yeah. You know, because I've noticed with all this that's been kicking off, the Novak thing and everything else, the Green Party just... weren't anywhere. They didn't say a thing because this went against all of their open borders. Right, let's let everyone in because they would have get roasted. Right, so I think they're just a flash in the pan. You know, the Green Party, and Reform don't have to do anything at the moment, from what I can see. And everyone's making a big thing about Makerfield. Oh, you know, Andy Burnham can beat Reform. Do you know what? Anyone could have predicted a Labour win in Makerfield, because for the people of Makerfield, to them, that was the chance to get rid of Keir Starmer. Right? Not being funny, because that's really what it was, wasn't it? It was more of a vote of
thing is, though, like traditional Labour voters as well, they want to vote Labour. But
they didn't in the locals.
But they need a reason to. So Keir Starmer Keir Starmer's Labour was not Labour, as they voted for previously. So Andy Burnham's got a tough job on his hands, I think.
I hope, and honestly, I'm saying
it'd be like when Sir Alex Ferguson left Manchester United and no one could do a good job after him. Like
I must admit, when I saw Keir Starmer before he was PM, I thought he'd have a good... I
remember the first PMQs, he took on Boris Johnson, and he absolutely skewered Boris Johnson. And I thought, this lawyer QC guy, this you know, he's going to absolutely rip him to shreds, and he's the exact guy that we need. It just didn't turn out that way.
You know what? I don't think he's up for politics. I don't. No. So Andy Burnham, please make a good go at it. I really do want him to make a good go of it. This is not me.
And do you think he will?
I don't
think he'll win the next general election.
I think at the moment,
for clarity on this, I love Andy Burnham. I think he's a really good guy, but I think it's in such a bad state now that Labour may be too far gone to win the next election.
Well, Andy Burnham at the moment, when I see him, is running the risk of believing his own hype.
Yeah.
Right. He's been drinking fucking Andy Burnham Kool-Aid. Right. And he's sitting there, and I really hope he's sitting down and he's going, do you know what? I can't just come in and like go all socialist. I got to have an element of it because that's his DNA. But he's also got to think about he needs to get the country back on his side. He needs to sort out the backbenchers and cut the welfare bill, for example. He needs to sort out our defence. Get us spending. I mean, Starmer again in his resignation saying how he's strengthened the biggest spending ever, and yet his defence minister resigned because he didn't believe him. We need to bring back truthfulness, right? We need someone who, when he says something, means it.
I heard him talking on Westminster Sky News the other day about he's open to some cross-party collaboration as well.
Yeah, as long as it's not the Green Party.
Yeah.
That's my fear. But Burnham, like I say...
If everyone's striving towards a common goal, I mean, surely it goes beyond...
You do. You want UK first, not self-party and then country. And Burnham on the campaign trail, I believe, flip-flopped on a few things. Waspy women. Yeah, I'm going to pay the waspy women. Then he went back on that and said, no, I'm not going to pay waspy women. And so I believe there were one or two things that kept changing.
I feel like he will have learned from his mistakes over previous bids to become the PM. Because, even though he's not been in politics for a long time, he still would have been watching. And biding his time.
It's quite funny when you see the so of course what's going around the news today is the picture of him doing the selfie with all those people. So people are going, in the morning it was like Starmer's resignation, and people are going, yeah. And then so Rachel Reeves, who lives next door to him, didn't even come out, right, on the steps, like Lammy and them. She was probably putting her makeup on, right, because she was getting ready for the picture.
I mean, she's got to be the worst chancellor ever.
Of course. So that was my whinge on where common sense fails, the political section. So my final point I want to make is the World Cup. So it's now started. Obviously, I'm rooting for England. We've all got to have one team, right? So I'm rooting for England. And, again, typical, we have a great game against Croatia because Croatia came out to play football.
Yeah.
And then the other night, we had a shocker against Ghana because they basically came to defend.
Yeah.
And it showed us up because we don't know what we're doing. But I want to give a massive shout out to my second team with Japan, right? Yeah. But my third team, because I've got down to 3 now, Cape Verde. What a team are Cape Verde.
Oh, yeah.
I think we all need to get behind them.
41-year-old goalkeeper.
Oh, God, the guys are amazing. And have you heard now, has he got like 15 million followers now?
It's ridiculous, yeah.
But what a game.
I think it's one of them stories that give people hope, actually.
Well, who was the guy? Cameroon, Roger... I want to say Roger Melly, but he's the man on the telly from Viz. It was Roger someone who did the dance at the corner flag in the 1990. And so Cameroon back then would be... But for me, Cape Verde, what a team.
Yeah, what a story.
They drew with Spain, and everyone's going, oh, bloody hell, Spain, you're rubbish. And then they came out against previous winners, Uruguay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And got a 2-2 draw. Their first goal in the World Cup ever. So they are through.
I would love to see them go through.
I think they'll do it. Because, so who have they got in the final? Is it Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Come on, Cape Verde. So,
I think I watched the Spain versus Saudi Arabia game.
Yeah.
Spain battered them 4-0.
Oh, I thought after 3-0, I thought they were going to be like 10.
I think that Cape Verde, the way they've got the momentum behind them, I think they can beat Saudi Arabia.
Oh, wouldn't that be brilliant?
Yeah.
So come on, Cape Verde.
Yeah.
That's my.
If they beat Saudi Arabia, they're through.
They're through, yeah.
Yeah.
And Spain versus Uruguay. If that's a draw,
You know?
Uruguay are out.
I know. That's crazy.
Pretty
isn't it?
much. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not going to become one of the best third place
No, they
teams
won't. No.
with 3 draws.
No, you won't know. Because Scotland have won. Because Scotland will play Brazil tonight, and they'll finish third.
They will. They're not going to beat Brazil, are
They're
they?
not going to beat Brazil. But even if they lose, but by a small amount of goals, they still won a game.
Oh,
So
come on, Verde.
if they get if Uruguay have 3 draws, Scotland's record is better because they won a game.
the only thing with Cape Verde is they don't have a out-and-out striker really as such, do they?
Well, they don't really have any players, really.
They're fucking brilliant. They are just, they don't give up.
They're basically part-timers, aren't they?
They do not give up.
No.
So that's my favourite.
Like even with the bad teams, like the Japan or the South Koreas.
Oh, Japan's not a bad team, mate. Have you not watched them?
Oh, I've watched them, yeah. They are exciting.
Japan are fucking top team.
Their striker plays for PSV Eindhoven
Right.
in Holland. And Everton, believe it or not, I've been linked with them. My second team in the tournament, who I always sort of follow, is South Korea. Don't know why.
Oh, okay.
Don't know why. Again, they've got Hong Min Son, is it? But not really any outstanding players. They just seem to always show up and give a good account of themselves.
So here we go. Before the knockout stages start, let's put it out there to everybody. In the comments, tell us who you think are going to be runners. The winners and the runners up. So my winners are going to be. For me, it's a toss up between France and Brazil, but you can't rule out Argentina.
No.
I'm going to go France and Brazil.
I think Brazil might just fall off. I think they might just fall short. Brazil, Argentina, they've got momentum behind them. Messi's playing well. France, very strong. England, I was enthusiastic until
last night.
Even though I don't think they played as badly as what everyone said they did, they just couldn't do anything. And Spain can't look past them.
You can't, but you got to make it. Come on, you've got we're asking the listeners.
And will Italy ever qualify for the World Cup ever again? Because they must be a bad team.
But you know what? I've been sitting here, and for some reason, because you expect Italy to be there, I'm going. When are Italy playing?
Yeah.
I didn't even know they're not there.
Well, it was only 20 years ago that they won it.
I know. So Italy and those guys are passionate about their football.
Oh yeah.
You know, they must be sitting there and spitting feathers, going, "Do you know what?
What is going on? Isn't it three tournaments back to back?
Oh, I don't know, but anyway, so give us your first and second and your team of the tournament, right? Who you think have impressed you the most? And I want to hear that from everyone around the world because, I think the stadiums are just amazing. I don't like the hydration breaks.
No,
I think that's a bit pathetic.
Well, this is another thing.
Oh, go on.
So, done a little maths on these hydration breaks.
Yeah.
So, 3-minute hydration break, which fits 6 adverts into the 3 minutes.
Right.
That was 104 games.
Right.
Now, the rough estimate is anywhere between 150,000 per ad break and about 350,000 per ad break. Now, I went on the conservative side and said about 200,000 on average. As it gets closer to the final, then prices will obviously go up.
Yeah.
So over 104 games, there's something like 104 times 6 times 2 hydration breaks. So 12 times 200,000, whatever that is. It's something along the lines of just through hydration break adverts, they'll make about 300 million. And that is on a £200,000 or $200,000
30-second ad.
30-second ad. When it gets to the final, it's obviously going to be more.
It is all about the money. I mean, have you heard the latest on these stadiums? I thought, again, to me, they're being a bit picky. So the Levi Stadium, right? So we're going over now to the Levi Stadium in Philadelphia. I don't know where it actually is. But FIFA went, Levi's, are you paying for sponsorship? No, it's our stadium. We sponsored the stadium. Well, we're going to blank out your logos. So they've put a big sheet right over the Levi logo on top of the stadium. Wow. So Levi's, fair dues to them, have taken it onto their socials, and they've now changed their socials and put a flag, put a white sheet over their branding, right? How petty is that?
Oh,
and the other one was the Mercedes Stadium. I don't know where that is, but again, FIFA went, there's a 12-foot wide Mercedes badge. Are you paying for sponsorship?
Yeah.
No, we've paid for the stadium. Right, well, we're going to cover up your Mercedes logo.
Wow.
And you're like, how petty is that?
How much money must the World Cup actually generate, especially in America?
Well, there was a guy last night.
It must be into the tens of billions.
Last night there was a guy on Radio 5, and he was trying to get into I don't know if it was the England match or the Portugal match, and he'd spoken to the reporter, and the only ticket he could get was an $1,800 ticket.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you paid $800 to watch England last night? You'd have gone £800 for that pile of poo. Not being funny.
Yeah.
It is just a money making.
Oh, it's an absolute money spinner. One of my favourite stats is the Super Bowl, which is like the pinnacle of all American sports, drives around 170 million viewers worldwide.
Right.
The Man City versus Liverpool game last year, where City beat Liverpool at Anfield 3-2, scored in the last minute. Regular game, not really much on it in the mid-season. That had 750 million viewers worldwide on a regular season game. So imagine that level, but on the World Cup. And you got to say, like, these tickets are expensive, and every stadium is packed to the rafters.
Well, I was going to say, have you seen the size of the stadiums?
I know.
I mean,
they must be averaging about 80,000 a game.
Those stadiums, fair dues to the Americans, they are pretty impressive. Can you imagine when we have it?
I know.
We're going over to the Bolton Wanderers Reebok. Not being funny. I mean, don't get me wrong there. The Bolton Wanderers Reebok is a nice stadium.
Yeah.
But it ain't one of those,
it's
is
not
it?
one of them. Well, even the Hill Dickinson's is not one of them.
Yeah. So please get your comments in about what you think about who's going to win it, who's going to come runner up, and who your team is in terms of just like the underdogs.
And we will be coming at you a bit more regularly now you're back from Spain, and I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Well, yes and no.
Are you going back out?
So I'm going back out on the 6th of August. So between now and the 6th of August, we're going to have one a week.
Easy.
We need to. Because we need to, obviously...
And how long are you out there for in August?
Come back on like the 22nd. And then when I get back, I'm going in September to probably the Maldives.
I was all right for some.
Well, I need to get all this in because I'm going on dialysis. So I'm trying to cram it all in before I get stuck at the hospital twice a week. Yeah. And on that note, because the phone's going, see you later.
Which hopefully won't pick up on the thing. But yeah, see you later, mate.
Cheers,
Thanks for good to have you back.